Bartrams actually visited this site on their return trip. They had already come past a couple of months beforehand. They were headed upriver, but it was on their return trip that they actually visited Rice Creek, which at the time was called Gray's Creek. They had departed on the morning of January the 30th down at Rollstown, and they rode their bateau 8 miles from Rollstown here to the mouth of Gray's Creek. And they must have known something about Gray's Creek, because they proceeded up the creek and explored the lands adjacent to the creek. But they made it about 7 miles, or at least what John Bartram estimated was about 7 miles up the creek, before the snags in the creek prevented their continuing by boat. They did get out of the boat and explore the grasslands that were along the sides of Gray's Creek. And then they got back in their bateau and rode the 7 miles back down here to the mouth. And by that time it must have been late afternoon. And then they proceeded across the river directly to Forester's Point, which is directly across the river here. It's just a little bit over a mile from here. So that would have been a pretty long distance to row that bateau, considering that they also explored around the shoreline. So it was probably pretty late in the afternoon by the time they crossed the river to make camp at Forester Point, directly across here.